Well, hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. LT is in the building. It's Tuesday, April 13th, 2021, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am out here finished with my 2 mile jog, walk, run, getting ready for my marathon pretty soon. I have a really cool lesson for you guys today. I have all kinds of notes. So as I'm talking, you'll see me go over here, look over here, refer to my notes. You'll see me drinking my water to stay hydrated. Go ahead and take a few seconds to tag someone. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds. I'm going to get my notes in order, and I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of swigs of water to give you a second to get someone in here who you know loves to write, but they're not published yet, right? I need to tell you and them why they're not published yet and help them solve that problem. All right? Cheerio. Tag a friend. Okay, let's get started. Who am I? First of all, who's this person talking to you? My name is Latasha L.T. Jimerson. I am an author, teacher, and book coach. I'm super excited to help people self-publish their books in 90 days or less so that they can leave a legacy to their lineage. A lot of us are, I'm a history major, a history teacher by trade, right? But I'm also a book coach by profession and by passion. There's a difference. I always think about my legacy. People say the word legacy all the time, but what does that mean? It literally means that even if you don't know your ancestors, if you're not plugged into your family lineage, that means that you can start today because you are the ancestor. And within 2 generations of your voice, within 2 generations of you right now, nobody will remember the sound of your voice. That's what legacy is about. If you read history books or if you listen online to history books, if you listen to clips, historical clips, you will begin to realize that the people who are remembered in history, the people who stand out above the rest, the giants, those are the people who either wrote books, had books written about them, they were in movies, they did speeches, they wrote stuff down, y'all, because what you write is permanent. The spoken word is powerful, don't get me wrong. The spoken word is powerful, but the written word is permanent, right? It's permanent. You need to make sure that your imprint in this world is permanent. I'll let that sink in for a second. Your imprint, your footprint. We talk about the digital footprint, the physical footprint, the footprint in the ground, like Hollywood, the stars get to put their hands in the ground and it's there forever. That's your legacy. That's what you need to be building right now. That's what is so amazing about what I do, is that people who come to me and they publish with me, they write their story, and it goes down in history forever, and their grandchildren are blessed. And their grandchildren are at the launch party helping them celebrate their success, right? That's the funnest thing that I do all day long and twice on Sunday. All right, I'm also the best-selling author of the book Visibility, which went #1 in February in the category of coaching and leadership. Coaching, business, and leadership, right? Those are the things that we need to succeed in 2021. It's time to get it done, y'all. It's time to get it done. Okay? So this video, if you're watching this after the fact, this video needs to be shared and shared again. Okay? It needs to be shared and shared again. It needs to be shared with your friends. Hey, priceless education. This video needs to be shared with your friends, shared with your coworkers, shared with all the authors you know, all the coaches, all the educators, all the speakers, all the business owners, all the entrepreneurs, all the moms and the dads and the counselors and the athletic coaches, anybody who wants to leave a legacy for the younger people to learn from. This video needs to be shared. Happy Tuesday. I'm so glad you decided to join me. Welcome, welcome. This is going to be a tremendous training today. I have a ton of notes. So as I talk, you'll see me go like this and look at my notes, and then I'll put some up here. This is a powerful discussion because this is about leaving a legacy for your lineage. You are the ancestor, right? If you don't know your ancestors, that's okay, because you're starting with the Ancestry.com today. You are the ancestor. The legacy starts with you. Take that responsibility and run with it. It's a beautiful thing, y'all. It's a beautiful thing. My clients come into my course. They think that it's just about writing a book. They get that book done. They publish it. It's online. People can buy it. We have the launch party. It's amazing. But they don't realize until there's a certain moment, and I call it click, click, boom, when the light bulb goes on and they realize, wow, this is not just a book. This is my legacy. Within 2 generations after you die, no one will remember the sound of your voice. Somebody said that to me a couple months ago. I was like, whoa, that's deep. Within 2 generations after you die, no one will remember the sound of your voice. How does that happen? How does that feel? Whoa. It feels like the weight of the responsibility to leave an imprint, especially if you're an educator. We educators, I've been an educator for 18 years, started at the middle school level teaching social science, went up to the high school level, started teaching AVID, psychology, economics, finance, all the social sciences, all the really cool fun stuff where you get to have discussions. Those are the classes I like. There's nothing more important than what I'm doing right now, and that's helping people write their story, helping people get their legacy out on paper. The spoken word is important, but the written word is permanent. So this is my passion, this is my profession, and I love what I do. Any questions, since I do see a couple people? What questions do you have before I dig deep into the content? Yesterday, I started by saying, yesterday was day 1 of this live stream. This is 4 parts. This is day 2. I said yesterday, the one reason why people never get their books done, the one reason why people are frustrated when they try to write a book, the one reason why people fail is because they don't start with an outline. The way you start the marriage is the way you end the marriage. If you start wrong, you end wrong. The way you start the school year is the way you end the school year. If you start out right and strong, you end strong. The way you start your marathon, I'm doing a marathon in October. The way you start your marathon is the way you end it. You start strong, steady, laser focused. You will end strong, steady, and laser focused. That's how you want to start your book, with an outline. And I have an outline that I use in my courses. If you're curious about the outline, you want to hear a little bit more about it, I can dive deep into it in our consult. Please go to myfirstbook.org, click the book a call so you can book a call with me, or just put in your name and your email and I'll reach out to you with some details about what I do. Okay? Again, that is myfirstbook.org. Go there now. There's a lot of resources, a lot of free good stuff, free good ebooks, free trainings, all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, let's get deep into this thesis statement, which is inside of the outline, which is inside of the introduction. Okay, so you've got all these different parts of your book. Let me just give you a little rundown. Because a lot of people ask me, well, how do I put my book in order? So Here's the order of your book. Typically, a typical book, and self-published authors, I love it because we can kind of, make up the rules as we go sometimes, but there is a structure. So you will notice most books have a foreword, which is written by someone other than the author. Books might have a preface, which is like, before I say this, I need to say that, right? Before we get into this, let me give you some mindset training. So there might be a preface. There might be some endorsements from some famous people. Okay, so might have some endorsements. There's probably going to be an acknowledgments page. There's going to be a dedications page. They might put a disclaimer in there about stuff like, I am not a lawyer, or I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Consult your tax tax professional, blah, blah, blah. Different disclaimers just to let you know that this person is not trying to be something that they're not. They're an author, okay? There's a copyright page, there's an ISBN, and then there's an introduction, which gets you into the first part of your book. And then the introduction actually has a thesis, okay, as a part of the introduction. And then the thesis goes into the body, yada, 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 yada. I love the body. The body normally has 2 or 3 parts, which I'm going to get into tomorrow. I'm going to cover a tiny bit about the first part today, but most of the body is going to be covered tomorrow. And then the conclusion. Hello. Welcome to the training. Happy Tuesday. If you have any questions as I go, please type in the chat. I love questions. I will answer them as I go. We're at the part of the training right now where we're talking about what goes into a book. How do you even start your book? Yesterday we talked about the thesis statement. We talk about the outline. You need to have an outline. Otherwise, it's going to be a hot mess. Authors ask me, do you use the Chicago style, the Turabian style? Do you use the APA? Do you use the MLA? Well, because I have 4 college degrees, I actually blend all the styles together. And honestly, it doesn't matter as long as everything is consistent and it flows for your reader. Your reader is going to tell you what they need, okay? They're going to read and they're going to tell you what they need. So pay attention to your readers, right? Now, who is this for? There's 4 different groups of people that I work with, okay? And I will start out in order with the ones that I love and the ones that I love, okay? So the first group of people that I love are the people that already have a manuscript. They already have content. Stuff is on the computer. Like, they have notebooks everywhere. Scribble, scribble, scribble here. I love working with those people because I can help those people get organized and publish. Like, there's probably like 100 steps to self-publishing. They've already completed like 80, 85 if they already have content, right? So if that's you, I could definitely help you, boo. No worries. The next group of people are people who write, and for some reason they're in a flow, and then all of a sudden they get writer's block. Like, what? What's that all about? It is a thing, but it actually doesn't exist, but it is a thing, right? And I explain that in my courses. Writer's block is a thing, but it doesn't exist, and you'll find out why when I take you through my process. So that's the second group, that they say they have writer's block, but they're kind of like distracted, or they've gone through something that keeps them from moving forward. I do a lot of mindset with them. Number 3, frustrated because what's in your head is not what's on the paper. What's in your head is not what they read, right? I used to have that all the time. I think I had some kind of a undiagnosed learning disability in school because I would write stuff down. And now that I'm a teacher, I understand this. I would write stuff down on paper, and then I would let someone else read it, and they would read it and tell me what it said, and I'd be like, that's not what I meant. And so I had to learn how to write what I meant and not something different, right? So that was kind of hard for me. So I deal with a group of people who are frustrated because whatever is in their head is not what they said, and I can help you with that. The fourth group is my favorite group as well. I love this group because this is the grandpa group. Like, this is the group of people that keep telling you the same story over and over and over again and act like you ain't never heard it. These are the people who survived something, or they went through something, or they overcame something. And they're like, I walked 10 miles in the snow. And y'all kids don't even appreciate it. I picked cotton in the fields of Georgia, baby, in the hot sun for 18 hours with no bathroom break. Like, these are the people who need to write a book, because people keep telling them they need to write a book because they talk a lot. And so what that means is they need to write a book. They need to get their legacy into their lineage by writing it on the paper. Okay? If you know somebody in either four of those categories, raise your hand and say, yeah. You might even say, LT, this talk is for me. Tell me which category you fit into. You fit into any of those categories? I went kind of fast, so I'll tell you again. The first group is people who already have content. They already have a manuscript. They just need to know how to publish it. The second group is people who have writer's block, and they just stop writing for some reason, and they don't know why. The third is the people who are frustrated because what was in their head is not what people read, right? So they get frustrated because they're like, I can't put it on paper. I can think it, but I can't put it down. And then the last group are the grandparents who keep telling the stories over and over again. They need to write a book. Alright, so those are the four people, and now we're going to dig deep into what we did yesterday, and we're going to extend it to what we're doing today. So yesterday was all about the introduction, all about the thesis, all about the outline, and the thesis is basically why you're writing this book. Your why should make you want to cry. So when the book gets difficult and it starts getting on your nerves, you will have a reason for doing this, right? Like, I have a reason for doing my marathon. I'm taking back my health. I did a half in 2018. I'm doing a full in 2021. I'm about to get it done. My why is to get my body back, to get my soul, spirit, mind, and everything in alignment, like I did in 2018 when I was like, woo, firing on all cylinders. So that is my why for doing this marathon. So when it gets hard, I can continue. I can think about why I'm doing it. And there we go. Same reason for people that are building a business. You're building a business for your family, for yourself, for your legacy, for the world. Why is it? You gotta have a why that makes you want to cry. Otherwise, you'll give up on day one. Okay? So, what else is in my notes, y'all? Oh, yes, I did that. Okay, let's talk about the thesis. What exactly goes in the thesis? What are the parts of the thesis? So here is what I recommend that you put before your thesis, okay? So before you write your thesis, you got to give us some kind of a hook. You need a hook or ain't nobody going to read your book, okay? So the hook means, all right, so there's a movie. Let's say you're watching a movie, because books are kind of like a movie. You're writing a movie. You're watching a movie, and there's somebody in the car, like I'm in my car right now. There's somebody driving, and this is the main character. This is the opening. They're driving. They got their music on. They're having a good time. And all of a sudden, boom! A truck comes up and smashes into the car, and you're like, "Whoa! What happened?" That's your hook. That's going to get you to watch the rest of the movie. So you need something like a hook, like to grab people, like, boom, like, what happened? Right? To make people like, what in the world's going on? All right. So after your hook, then you write your thesis. Okay. Your hook also could have, after the hook or before the hook, you could have data, facts, quotes, story, and illustration. You could have a picture. You could have stuff that's going to grab people's attention. Like you got these memes and stuff on social media. Like you got music, you got funny stuff. Like if you're creating an ebook, you can totally throw in voice clips, video clips that you created that are original content, right? That's stuff that you can do with an ebook or an audiobook easily. A paperback is a little bit different because you're not going to be able to really click on any links or anything, but I teach you that when you get into the course. All right, so thesis. This is what thesis literally stands for. It's the why that you're writing. It comes from hypothesis. It's a guess that you're making. It's an educated guess, or it's a statement, it's an argument, it's a claim. It's the whole point. It's why you're even writing in the first place. So here is a little acronym that I created for thesis. So you want to write out THESIS on a piece of paper. If you don't have any paper right now, you need to be writing something on somewhere because this is really important. All right, so the T in thesis means to the point. Your thesis should only be one sentence, maybe two sentences at the most. A person who's writing a book about exercise, this is how their thesis would go, very simply. Exercise is important because. There's got to be a because. Exercise is important because it helps your mind, it helps your body, and it helps your soul. That's just an example. Exercise is important because it helps your body, it helps your mind, it helps your soul. Okay? You could say college is important, school is important, whatever. Eating healthy is important because of 1, 2, 3. That's your thesis. Done. 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 Right? Exercise is important because it helps your mind, it helps your body, and it helps your soul. Boom. Done. Your hook might be she died at 45 because she never exercised in her life. And now the person's like, oh, what's that all about? Okay, now I hooked you. Now I'm bringing you into the thesis. Okay? The thesis is going to be very important because the person's going to understand why they're reading your book, what to expect. And if they don't get it, they're going to be disappointed. So you got to make sure you deliver. Okay? All right, so the first part of thesis, T, is to the point. Get to the point. 1 or 2 sentences. That's it. Es todo. Letter H is hook the reader. Again, you still want to use language that's powerful, that evokes emotion, and gets them to lean in and listen, right? So that's the T, is to the point. The H is hook the reader. The E is entertain with enthusiasm. All right? Use fun words that entertain with enthusiasm. Those 2 words are exciting, right? So that's the T, the H, the E. The S is say it. Say it. The I is intentional. And the S is simple. Okay? So to the point, hook the reader, entertain with enthusiasm, say it intentionally, simple. Keep it simple, Simon. All right? So that is your thesis statement, which goes inside of your introduction, which goes inside of your outline, which goes inside of your book. You have to do the outline before you write the book, or you will be lost. Okay? Another drink of water. Tag somebody who needs to hear this. I'm getting ready to close this out. So, here's a little story about me and how I wasted 12 years. I had a friend in 2004, 2005-ish. She was teaching science. I was teaching social science, and we had the same students, and she was a wonderful friend and co-worker, and we had lunch together. We hung out outside of work, and she listened to my thoughts, and she was like, you should probably write a book. And I was like, about what? I ain't got nothing to talk about. Don't nobody want to hear what I have to say. Blah, 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 blah. She was like, if you write a book, I'll help you. And I was like, well, that's nice for you to say. You have a PhD. You know how to get published. Da, 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 da. I had all these excuses. Lo and behold, she kept telling me that. You need to write a book. You need to write a book. I can't. Okay, so what I ended up doing was procrastinating for a lot of years and not doing it, right? And being upset and having all these emotions and going through a lot of drama when I just should have been obedient to what the Spirit was already telling me anyway, which was talking through her. So ended up writing the book in 2016. Didn't want to put it out till 2017. Super nervous, super scared of criticism and feedback and stuff that people are going to say. And I asked her, okay, I wrote the book. Can you read it? She read it. She edited it. She loved it. She helped me through it. I mean, it was not painful at all. Like, I had the support that I needed. I had the editing that I needed. I really needed the editing. I really needed for somebody to make sure that what she read was in my head, right? I needed that. Got through that in 2017. People bought it. People from work bought it. And they were like, wow, that was deep. You talked about depression. You talked about being molested as a child. You talked about being verbally abused. You talked about being ignored, being rejected. You talked about fear. You talked about trauma. You talked about spirituality. They were like, wow, that's deep. You talked about a lot. Thank you for being so transparent, so honest, right? And that motivation inspired me to promote that book more, right? And then I had a friend come up and ask me, oh, she said, oh, I read that book like in 2 hours. When are you going to write your next book? And I was like, girl, please, child, please. You don't even know how hard it was to write that one. Get out of here with that. But lo and behold, I went ahead and wrote a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one, and a sixth one, and a seventh one, and an eighth one. Now I have 8 books. 2 of them went #1 on Amazon in different categories. I'm so super proud. I'm so super happy that my friend poked me in the eyeball and said, you need to write a book, girl. Because I'm always talking. And so people who talk a lot need to write a lot. Because people around the world need to hear your story. So my point in that is, if you're watching this, if somebody shared this with you, if I shared it with you, if you're in my circle, you need to write a book. If you already have a book, you need to be promoting that book, because this is a part of your legacy to the world. You are a gift to the world, and the world needs to hear from you, and I can help you. I have 9 spaces left in my beta course, which starts in a very short amount of time. I'm only taking 9 more people. It will fill up fast. You need to go to my website, myfirstbook.org, book a call with me so I can figure out, and you can figure out, if we are a good fit, if this is the program for you. I have a feeling that it is. If you've watched this entire thing from beginning to end, that means there's something inside of you that's jumping up and down saying, let's do it, let's go, come on, it's the time, it's whatever it's saying. Don't ignore it, because it's just time. 2021 is the time to get it done, right? So go ahead and reach out to me, DM me, Facebook me, email me, go to my website. That's the fastest way to hook up with me, connect with me, so we can sit down and do a deep dive into your book idea and find out if this is truly your time, if this is the right message, if this is going to sell. Is anybody going to even read this? Is this idea a good one? Let me help you. Help me help you. Go to my website, myfirstbook.org, and I will see you very soon. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. I am truly blessed. Bye.